The news in you. North, east, west, south. Unite from every alley and Cali, intersection and back street. Author and conservative analyst Candance Owens reacted weird as a mother to the guilty verdict lodged against former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin in the George Floyd case. And it's weird. Family is weird. Everything that's black doesn't definitely mean it's black. We got to keep it a buck. And even if we don't want to use the race thing, you can tell that some people are systematic. They're a part of the system. They're a part of the problem and not a part of the solution. Like Candance Owens. And I'm going to read what she said. Candance Owens said this. She said, Derek Chauvin suffered mob justice, and the verdict was very likely influenced by politicians like Maxine Waters. We know what Maxine Waters said before the verdict went down. She said we're going to meet confrontation with more confrontation. We get that. And she went on, she said, like Maxine Waters and others who have threatened or condoned violence if the criminal justice system doesn't award them a victory. What we are really seeing is mob justice. And that is really what happened with this entire trial. This was not a trial about George Floyd and Derek Chauvin. She told Tucker Carlson, this was a trial about whether the media was powerful enough to create a simulation and decide upon a narrative absent from facts. Crazy, right? She went on to say, a teenager's cell phone video of Floyd's encounter with Chauvin was played on a loop, while other information about the incident seemed intentionally left out, pointing to details about the fentanyl Floyd had ingested prior to his death. The media told us George Floyd was a man who is just getting his life together, a good member of society, because a racist white police officer had it out for him and killed him. All of that fell apart, Owens said, adding that the fentanyl context is ignored by activists. They kept hitting the narrative, and the Democrats are happy because they realized the media supports them. And that now means Democrats can get whatever they want. People like Floyd can be treated like pawns in a political game, Owens added, remarking that with the threat of urban violence and looting, those in power can get their way. They can create a narrative, and they can treat people like pawns and get them to basically say, if we don't get what we want, we will riot. If we lose, we will send these people like soldiers to destroy our neighborhoods, and that is exactly what has happened, Owens noted. They are already moving the goalposts because they are saying right now that Chauvin's conviction is not enough. That wasn't justice, by the way. What they want is a perpetual revolution. It is why they want people to be ignorant. It is why they want people in the education system to learn nothing but race and how to be angry. It is propaganda, she said, that is taking place in the mainstream media, and it is working with critical race theory and all of this nonsense to make sure we are mass producing human failures that are angry and that are violent and that are willing to riot and loot on behalf of the Democrats because that is what they want right now. Pawns in their schemes to take over the country. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Do you hear this heifer? She's talking nonsense to the fullest. She's saying, don't forget about the fentanyl that was in his system when a man blatantly rested on his neck for more than 2 minutes. Are you serious? See, this is the shit that is troubling us. These are the things that's going to keep us divided to the fullest, because we have people that work for certain systems, and they're going to work for their system regardless, point blank. The money's good, whatever. We with it. We're going to follow the pecking order. And that's why we have to separate people from people. It doesn't matter. It could be your brother. It could be your mother. You might have to separate her from the cause that you're about, because that right there is a blatant disrespect to George Floyd, rest his soul, and to his family. That's blatant disrespect. That means you didn't see the video that we saw. You're going to call it propaganda and nonsense. So maybe you didn't see what we saw. Just say it's about the bag. Hey, I'm saying this because it's about the bag. I work for the opposing side. I work for the police defendant system. I don't work for the ones that's trying to prosecute him for his wrongdoing. That's better. I accept that all day long. I understand. Just say, hey, I'm a ride or die with my group. But they are not my group. We get it. But don't defame the man's character. Don't make it as if he did something wrong. He's the one that's dead and gone. So he couldn't have did too much wrong. He's dead. He's not here. And then you say, oh, yeah, we need police reform. You can't get reform if they're constantly getting away with the shit that they're doing. Period, point blank. But for you to get up there and say that, we know your strings have to be pulled. Because sometimes it's good just to say nothing. Sometimes saying nothing is the best thing to say, if you can't keep it fair and keep it real and keep it right. You know, we got to keep it a buck out here. And that's where we get on the line of, it's not about race. It's about people being honest and keeping it a buck and keeping it fair. But you, Candance Owens, you should be ashamed of yourself. And we definitely know the truth ain't in you. And with that, I'm going to say, this is the news in you. North, east, west, south, unite from every alley in Cali, intersection and back street. Subscribe to the channel and hit the thumbs up on your way out the door.